Alright boys, we're going to talk a little bit about this 17 Mach 2, which is a CZ457 with an aftermarket barrel on it, okay? I'm sharing data, you don't have to believe it. One thing you can believe though, is you can believe those 614 squirrels I've killed, okay? You've got to see most of those crosshairs on them squirrels, okay? I've been driving this gun around in the woods. That's what you do. You drive it around in the woods. When you see a squirrel, you start driving that gun, okay? Some of them squirrels were shot off-handed. Some were shot off a Primus trigger stick. Some were shot off of trees. Most leaves-off squirrels were shot off the Primus short trigger stick. Mountain Dew cap. You see what I've done here just to give you a little idea? That little line you see on the right there, that is the 1 1/4 inch mark. Now this cap is slightly tapered, meaning it's a little wider at the bottom. So it's not quite 1 1/4 inches wide at the bottom. Alright? Now what about the height factor here? I'm going to hold this. That line you see on the right side there is the 1/2 inch mark. So that cap is not quite a 1/2 inch tall. Alright? You've seen me make some shots with this gun at 122, 124, and 125 on the laser using that very gun, that very scope with that trigger cam. Alright? A Lilja sport taper barrel. I can't say how every barrel will shoot. I can tell you how that barrel shoots though. It shoots good. 21 inches long. Now I do have a 20 inch long one of these. I played with it a little bit. And I really can't make a good assessment of it yet because I just wanted to see if it would shoot the V&T ammo, which it didn't seem to like too much. Seemed to like the Hornady VMAX better. I do have some of the CCI VMAX left, okay? Now the rear, that metal piece in the back of this stock is out of this gun, and I believe it shoots better in the vertical with it out. 20 inch-pounds on the action screws, okay? It has a Yo-Dave spring change in it. That's it for the trigger. Probably breaking around 12 ounces. I'm going to turn the camera off and take this bolt out of this gun. Camera back on. You see that firing pin? So that firing pin I have altered. It's not hitting the rim of the case. Now I can't say if this is causing this gun to shoot better or not, to be honest with you. I'm just telling you that's how this gun is, what it's got done to it, okay? Now, that's a CZ American stock that's been sanded out. I have full barrel clearance, alright, using a $1 bill all the way down. Okay, and one thing that I noticed when I put this action in this stock, I'm not getting any rocking motion whatsoever. Okay, when I put pressure on the back and then come up here and put a little pressure on the front, the stock seems to be in there the action seems to be in there very secure. It's not got that seesaw action going on. Now, I'm not quite 63 years old yet, alright? You all have got to see, if you watch those videos, those are real squirrels. There's a real man behind that gun shooting those squirrels. Alright, you get to see the harvest numbers. I've even put up photos. You can see a lot of the points of impact. You get to see me aiming at a lot of heads on a lot of squirrels. Alright, you can't make this shit up. That trigger cam shows you. Alright, so there's no bullshit going on. Alright, now, I can't speak for all of these barrels. I may be testing some more since I got me a nice shooting table here now, boys. I never had one in my damn life. We're going to bear down maybe with some of these other barrels, with some of this ammunition at about 125 yards, and what I may do is I'll leave that trigger cam run and we may just shoot 5 shots off a cold barrel. meaning it'll be the first shots of the day, and I want a day when early in the morning when there is practically zero wind. And let's see what happens. We'll even do the same thing with this barrel right here. But I'm not probably going to be able to do it until the April time frame, because this time of the year it can be windy. It's hard to get a longer duration span where there is zero wind. Okay. Now you've got to see trigger cam footage of some longer shots on coyotes, longer shots on squirrels. And I have showed some trigger cam with groundhog shot at longer distance, and some even using a handheld camera. I think one 156-yard groundhog. Some longer shot crows. When you go into the squirrel woods, not all of your shots are going to be under 50 yards. Now, I can pick places in the woods where I can force that to happen because I can't see a squirrel that far. But I don't hunt a lot of woods like that, okay? So this caliber 17 Mach 2 17 does offer some advantage over 22 long rifle. And you'll hear these boys and girls talking about accuracy. Well, you got to hit your target. You don't have all the time in the world to be playing with elevation necessarily. 65 and 70 yards with a 22 long rifle, you got to be careful. You got to be dialed right or honed right. This gun right here is a point and shoot, boys. If you can get on that head or on the center of that body, he's probably coming out of that tree with me behind this gun right here, okay? Now, all cartridges are affected by wind. Does the HMR have advantage over this? Well, most certainly. It shoots faster. But how much advantage does it have at 100 yards exactly? You know, or 125 yards. Now, if we start talking about 150 plus yards, probably the advantage becomes better. Okay, 75, 60, 90. There's probably not a whole lot of advantage. You pay more for the ammo, it is noisier, and it is heavier. Bigger box to pack around. And I've used the HMR. I may get an HMR for one of these actions I've got in CZ 457, or use a 455 action. Play with it a little bit. Maybe use it during the summer when I might get on a longer range coyote. And do some 200-yard shooting with one to see what it does with that trigger cam. Show you all, okay? So that's the number, that's the deal with this gun right here, all right? Barrel is painted on this. They don't come that way. They're stainless steel. You do get a shim kit with these to set your headspace. I could probably, truthfully, I could set the headspace on one of these guns by feel. I don't think I set the headspace on this one like that. I do have one of those gauges. All right. Trigger about 12 ounces. That's about right for a hunting rifle, for a light trigger. You really don't want anything lighter than that. Get used to it. Now, this air rifle I've got, I'm going to be playing with it, showing it too, okay? And I've got this laser FX chronograph coming. You may see me fire this gun over that. I'm going to tell you what I suspect. I don't believe the ballistic coefficient of that bullet is 0.125. Coming out of this gun, I believe it's a little bit lower. But we're going to shoot it over that thing because it's going to tell me. It'll give me a G1 ballistic coefficient, and it will actually measure that round up to 4 different distances in yards, telling me the speed, and it'll kick out the BC of each shot, and then after a string of 5, it'll give me the average. Now realize velocity does drive the BC a little bit, okay? And the BC may be a little higher out of an HMR with that same bullet since it's shooting faster. I don't know. If I had an HMR barrel, I'd put it on here and shoot some of that ammunition out of it using this FX chronograph that I've got coming. I should have it later this week or Monday next week. All right, so I share data, I show you results, and I show you the shots. You can't beat that with a stick, and it don't cost you a damn penny other than being able to get on the internet in a little time of looking. All right, there's better shooters out there than me. That 125-yard lid right there with a good shooting .22 rifle. Well, there's some people with trigger cams that ought to show me. How many times can you hit it out of 10? I may let the trigger come. I may figure out a place where I can stand up 10 of these bottles at 125 on a windless day. Let the trigger cam run and aim at all 10 and just see how many can I hit. Just for my own little, just to see. Alright, now I did show you the lot number of some of this ammunition I'm using. I've got other ammunition. There it is right there. But it's in a different box in a prior video this morning. Okay, and I do have that level on there. Some of these hillsides around here, boys, you can get really fooled with canting your gun. Okay, take it from the old sharpshooter. That's going to conclude the video.